Hello there, Smash fans and fans of Super Cast Brothers. That's right, all three of you! It's time for another episode here of our show, Super Cast Brothers, the only Super Smash Brothers podcast that we exist on. Yay! I'm Zantok, otherwise known as Lister, and this starfish motherfucker over here is... Man, I really wish I didn't know.
They once called me Patback, but it's actually Steven. Hello, one and all, and welcome to another installment of the Supercast Brothers podcast, available everywhere that podcasts can be heard, and also on YouTube, where you can watch our beautiful faces postulate upon the Smash Brothers universe.
Nobody wants to see our faces.
We are your hosts. Jonno and Zantok. Zantok and Jonno. And this is the final Smashtopia episode
Ever.
of Year 2.
That's right, it is. We are in the middle of our finale for Year 2. If you watched the last episode all the way through, congratulations. You win our adoration.
Arts and money.
Because holy shit. It was long. And we did not plan that one out very well. We severely underestimated the amount of talking we would have about each individual character. And it got bad.
That was, what, a 4-hour show or
so? No, it was almost 5.
I remember looking at the clock while we're recording, and it's like, well, the sun was out when we started, and now it's not.
Yeah.
Was it fun? Yes. Was it overshot? Yes.
Honestly, the problem was we should have just kept it to being the top character in each category. We should not have done second and third place, because that severely extended the amount of time that we had. We also didn't even really get into it until like half an hour in, and then when we got to like an hour and a half later, I was realizing we've only gone through 7 slots. Oh, fuck. I knew it was going to get at that at this point.
You think we're halfway through?
Yeah.
You said to me.
So I could tell it was going to be bad at that point, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I was like, okay, well, maybe if we speed things through, we can get to it in like, 3.5 hours? Then the 3.5 hour mark came up, it's like, oh god, what have we done? We were tired afterwards.
It was tiresome, yeah.
Tired. And I imagine... I'll also say, if anybody watched it in one go, dear God, what's wrong with you? Do something else in your life. At least, please tell me you're at least playing a game while you had us on as a background noise thing. At least tell me that. Because
let me tell you, if you can prove that you listened to this episode without any breaks and without skipping, I will send you an expensive gift basket. Just give me your address and also the proof that you watched it.
How would they even prove that?
Take a 5-hour video of recording themselves listening to it.
Okay, well, they could just do that after the fact.
I'll listen back to the entire 5 hours along with them to make sure they did it.
No, you won't. No, you need to write Marshall.
Then they'll get a wine country gift basket.
Stop it. Anyways, today we're not going that long. If we do, I quit. Okay? Saying it that way.
We should go
if we do, I quit. But we won't, because this is Smashtopia episode time, and we're generally pretty consistent on those. The only time that those really get long is if we have a third person in mind who's coming on with their own thoughts. Then, it gets a little bit longer. But it's never been that bad with the Smashtopia. To be fair, it had never been that bad ever. We did have an on-topic once that was closer to 3 hours or so. I don't remember which one, but we had one.
There were some things that we had to learn this season, like the stage showcase, too. We only had time to showcase like 10 per when we prepared 20-something.
20 each?
Yeah, 20 each, and we showed 20 on the show. We had to kind of sidestep and crunch those last few in there, too.
I mean, at least we didn't underprepare.
I agree. We could say the same thing about the company roster game.
True. True.
Parts 1 through 5.
Yeah. Dear God.
But yeah, Smashtopia. This is the final Smashtopia of the year.
It is. And last year when we did this, we decided to do something different. Instead of the two of us combining our thoughts together on one character, one moveset, and making a Frankenstein mishmash out of it, we decided to each make our own two characters. And last year, our theme with that was we both had to pick a character who was technically eligible to be in Smash, which basically means they were one, a video game character, or originated in a video game, and really there's their IP or a video game. Because even if you take like, oh, here's a Dragon Ball character that only exists and they're farming it, no, it's still fuck you, fuck you. Anyways, they had to have originated in the video game, and also their game needed to be on a Nintendo system. Now, Smash has been playing loose with that fan rule for a while, and I wouldn't be surprised if it gets broken in the near future. Master Chief, he could do it.
Yeah,
he could do it. We'll see.
Good.
Um,
It's gonna be Spike from Ape Escape.
Dude, Spike would be great though. I'd love Spike. That's the problem. Is like, there's a lot of characters that I would love to have. It's some I don't ever think about. But then you say like Spike from Ape Escape, I'm like, yeah, he'd be cool. I'm down for it. Is there more? Some who I want more? Yeah, but Spike be cool. Fuck it. I ain't gonna get upset because my top favorite didn't get in.
Agreed. It would be completely baffling, but that also didn't happen. Gino Give. Never mind.
And last year, I went with the Trapper, one of the three default killers from Dead by Daylight, which, purely because of its gruesome and murderous content, will never be in Smash. And then you went with the Polar Bear enemy from Ice Climbers, which, yeah, you're right. Never going to be playable in Smash. That said, before Ultimate, I would have said the same thing if Piranha Plant. So,
very true. Very true.
No anymore.
I would say it would be playable before Trapper at the very least.
Yeah.
I could have gone harder. I could have made it Bio Miracle Boca Teupa, but I decided to save us both the headache.
Let's be real. You were going to do it, but then you couldn't come up with the full moveset.
Oh, I could.
Could you?
Oh, I could.
I'm surprised you didn't then.
Would you like me to?
Nope. Maybe that'll be a direct-to-DVD Smashtopia entry.
One of these days. One of these days. There's going to be a lot of direct-to-DVD Smashtopias coming up for me.
Good.
In the near future.
I'm okay with that. Just as long as they get all set up properly.
Some before, I don't know what that means.
You will.
Was there a recent one?
You forgot to put Jin Sakai on both the list of all submissions page and the list of all characters page. He was only on one of them.
I put him on the character ones.
So I fixed it and I put him on both.
Oh, wonderful.
You're welcome.
We have a lot of different organized pages. Well, that's probably a good thing.
And who's in charge of it all? Who's in charge of literally every piece of organization on this shit? I run this ship, motherfucker. Your name may come first in the credits, but I run the game. Speaking of games.
Okay.
You know it's fucking true, bitch. It's the same thing with Select Star Gaming. Mike founded it, but I run it. Because nobody else wants to handle the organization. And I'm just like, hey guys, I'm bored, so I made a whole calendar of what videos will go up on what days. They're just like, oh, like, yeah. That's what I do. I get bored.
Mike's lucky to have you be his assistant.
He really fucking is. But anyways, so that's what we did last year, and we decided, you know what? We want to make each finale more or less consistent. Granted, true, our on topic is of a different format than it was last year, but that's because we didn't know what we wanted to do with the on topics last year, as we mentioned in the last episode. But just in case you didn't watch that one, and when you saw the time, and I don't blame you, we decided that for each on topic episode, for each finale, it's going to be some kind of roster game. Talking about like characters coming into Smash, or it could be something like, oh, who do we want to see as the whole roster for Mario Kart 9 or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So we could do PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2 or Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 or whatever the hell. We can do what we want with that. But it's basically going to be we come up with a roster of sorts for our game and what we want to see, like who
Mm-hmm.
we think can do it. Technically, the first one we did in the last episode wasn't really a true roster game. It was just going, here's a bunch of companies. If we had to put one character from each company to Smash, who would it be? So it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really quite what a real roster game will look like. We'll see what a real one comes up as. More or less a real one, I guess, with year 3. We kind of already know what we want to do for it. Yeah, we think ahead. Um,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
going to be a thing. It won't. I don't think it'll be as long as the company roster game in terms of length, thank God. But it could still be lengthy, I would guess. But anyways, um, so that's basically what we're going to do for each on topic from here until ever. And for each Smashtopia, again, we're going to do our own character. We have a theme that we set up ahead of time, so our characters have to both follow this theme, whatever it is. And we want to do that every year. And again, with our Smasher Dashes, it's going to be the Tournament of Champions every year. The winners of all the previous Smasher Dashes from across that year or season will go up into a whole tournament bracket, and we'll pick a winner. It will be more organized this time than last year's, because last year was a mess. An utter
Yeah,
and
it
complete
really
mess.
destroyed my ego and spirit as well, that process. I think that was the only benefit of having to go through it. For you, anyway.
We
Um,
learn things when we do these shows. We're just like, that was a mistake. Let's either not or fix it.
yep.
We're
Oh,
fixing
we
it.
fixed it
You'll
in a
see in
way.
2 weeks. Well,
Uh-huh.
who knows? We haven't recorded that one yet, obviously. Could still be a chaotic mess. Who the fuck knows? But it won't be the same chaotic mess. I can tell you that much.
No, it'll have a pink aura about it.
I don't know if that's the color I would use, but sure.
Like Squirtle.
Isn't pink.
In Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, he has a pink aura.
Does he?
I think so.
I've never played Mystery Dungeon, so I literally don't know. I watched a
The
Let's Play
person,
of
yeah,
the remake recently, but that's my only Mystery Dungeon
got it.
knowledge, really. Except I know that Grovyle is a dick. I know the
Mm-hmm.
first game and I know that Grovyle is a dick in one of the other games. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm. 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 And like the main character in the other, and it's kind of all over the place. And Celebi's there.
And Jirachi is there, and Shaman is there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Evil Dialga. I
Also
don't know.
true. And Sablei's there. He runs a store.
Gengar is a dick.
Gengar for Smash.
Yes.
Check out our Gengar Smashtopia episode while you're at it. Um, that being said, we have themes
We
this year, as you
do.
said.
And we have a lot of theme ideas. We're just like, man, okay, so we want to do this, and or we'll be like, I want to do that. We've got like what 10 different things already written down.
Oh
Whether or
yeah.
not we last for another 10 years, I don't fucking know. But we got a lot of ideas. And for this year, we decided to do something arguably stupid. Arguably,
Something
uh,
that you fight so hard.
yes,
So
I
hard.
do. I do. I do fight against it so
Yep.
hard. But last year we had for our first, or well, not our first, our penultimate Smash Bros. Episode. We decided to throw two fourth party characters in there and just debate them because why the fuck not? We had Goku versus Spider Man, and in the discussion we gave the nod to Spider Man because well, we just think he's more interesting than Goku. And we were also kind of like trash talking fourth parts of the we were like, ha ha, they won't get in Smash. We hope. But we decided, you know what? For this year's final Smashtopia episode, our finale Smashtopia, why don't we make them both be fourth party characters? And it could be anything. Any character that's not that didn't originate in a video game and also not a real person. So we couldn't do like The Rock or whoever. I don't
Ralph Fiennes.
We can't do
Couldn't do
Harrison
him.
Ford,
No.
but
No.
a character we could do
I
like
know
we
what
could
my
have done
final
Indiana
Smash character would
Jones
be.
or
Yeah.
Darth Vader or Spider Man or Goku.
Yep.
Could have done any of them,
Good.
but we
We
did
could.
none of them. We did
No, we didn't.
two other characters, which in a way are a little bit more similar than I wish they were. I wish we could have coordinated that better, but that's what happens sometimes when you don't know what the other person wants to do
It's
at first,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's just like, oh wow, we went similar, huh?
It's funny, isn't it?
A
Out
little
of
bit,
all
a little bit.
of the potential paths that could have been taken, it's not like we chose characters from the same exact background or network or what have you, but they are from the same format and they're from the same side of the world.
The same media source.
Yeah, pretty much the television set.
Yeah. So now we've done that
For most of
tease.
us, just streaming instead of
Huh.
cable.
Now we've done that tease. Why don't you go ahead and tell us who you chose, maybe why, and what they're about?
Well, you're looking at them.
Uh, you chose yourself. You chose Patrick
No,
Starr.
I chose Carl's Jr., bitch.
Oh, I don't know
No.
how that works, but okay.
Well, the chicken star grenade. It's very similar to how we did Ronald and Burger King, but it's more star or shaped oriented.
So Hardee's.
And it's also
That's what we call that here
yeah.
in our side of the world.
Is it
Yeah, it's called a Hardee's
Hardee's,
in this
Carl's
side of the
Jr.?
country.
Do
It's
you
the
have
same thing.
green burrito as
I
well?
don't know what that is, but it does not sound
Oh,
good. It reminds me how
it's
there's a
not.
taco place nearby called Fuzzy's Tacos, and I was like, look, I don't want to eat a taco that's fuzzy. I don't know what the hell you're putting in your food. It was a terrible name for your restaurant, okay? Jesus Christ.
Probably the name of the owner. Which
Yeah,
is
I mean,
why.
that's what I was told. It's like it's probably like the owner's nickname or something. It's like I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck if it's the owner's
hmm
wife. You don't call a food place Fuzzies. No. The only thing worse is what they had called it fuzzy tacos. God, no.
Just toss the S out of the window. That's
Just say
awesome.
fucking tacos. It's the fucking taco
hmm
shack. There you go. There's a full name for you.
You imagine how many people would go to the fucking taco shack too?
Dude,
That would
yeah.
be on the news for the name.
You get a lot
Open
of
it.
marketing.
There's your next test. Uh huh. Well, in the Steven universe, that's weird. There is a fish stew pizza. Oh yeah, I chose Steven Universe.
I was about to
That's
say,
the character
what's the
from
Steven Universe?
yeah from the Steven Universe. I chose Steven Universe, who is a character from a recent Cartoon Network show. I don't recall exactly when it started, like mid 2010s.
Is there a Steven
It
Multiverse?
is yes, actually. Um, Not a character, but a thing. There is. So, I mean, how could you not?
I mean, with a
But
name like that, you really gotta.
you really got it. And this is a show that's extremely hyper aware of the audience. The audience will include a lot of kids, right, and family because it's a Cartoon Network show. But it seems like over the past so often, especially as television as a media form begins to degrade, you're looking at older teenagers and young adults who are watching these shows primarily. Even, whatever, your Adventure Times, returning to your avatars or what have you. Um, so I got into Steven Universe over the last year, over the course of the pandemic. It was a show that Trevor, who has been on this podcast a few times, highly recommended and said it was his favorite show he's ever seen. I was like, ugh. Trevor said it was his favorite show he'd ever seen.
And
I
that's
think
crap.
I'm probably going to put this off for a long time. Yeah. I mean, look at who he thinks is one of his best friends. I mean, come on.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's and then I watched the first couple episodes. Like, this is a cute thing, I guess, and then you get into it, go through the first season, like, oh,
That's the
there's
thing
a
with
lot
like a
going
lot
on.
of those shows.
Yeah.
Like they'll give you
Mhm.
like a very soft opening. It's like, oh hey, look at this, everything's fun and happy. We're just having fun, and then you
Uh-huh.
learn, and that's when their parents were killed. It's like, wait, what? Hold up. When did we suddenly go DC Universe? What happened?
Uh-huh.
Why are the lights all
Uh-huh.
dark?
Yep.
All I can see is gray and brown. What the fuck's going on?
And that's so Steven is a young man. He's probably 13 years old in the initial
Young
IP.
man, 13 years old.
Well,
Wait, what?
just like myself, just like myself.
I think
Um,
a young man is like early 20s.
yeah, fair enough. Later on,
13 is
but
a kid.
you do get to see him age throughout the series, so I got kind of confused for a second. But he starts out his primary form is 13 or 14 years old. Like that's what you see throughout the main series. There's movies and another season afterwards where he's older, like 17, but still. Um, and he is family with the crystal gems, who are sentient gemstones, like projected from actual gemstones, aliens from another race, from another planet, who have come to Earth to conquer it thousands of years ago, and now they were stopped by the crystal gems, who were a team of vigilantes who worked against the imperialistic forces of the diamonds, who were the controllers of the gems, their dictators. And Steven fights alongside the crystal gems to keep the other evil gems off of Earth, or to, more often than not, because it's a rather wholesome show, turn their lives around and show them the good of humanity.
Why does it sound like Mega
Um,
Man Star Force? There's the evil aliens from this
mhm.
one planet called AM, and then there's the good aliens from this other planet called FM. It's a whole weird radio thing. You gotta fight with the FMians to beat the AM. Or no, was it the other way around? I think it's the other way around. But yeah.
Yeah, quite similar. And the creator, Rebecca Sugar, is a total nerd. There's a lot of crossover references to comic books, primarily to Nintendo games, and Sega games in Steven Universe, which we're going to get into a little bit of. So I don't know. It was a fun show. It was meatier than it initially seemed. Um, it was a feel good show, which I feel like over the course of not knowing what the hell is going to happen the next day, I got really into, which is how I got into a lot of more wholesome media over the course of 2020, Steven Universe, Wonder Song, what have you. Um, a lot of bright, colorful games and shows. Um, so I don't know. I became attached to the character. He has a lot of different abilities available to him because of his lineage as a half human, half gem. And there's a way that happened. Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely a way that that happens. It's the way that it happens for anyone.
Yeah, he called it the Ballad of Greg and Rose. That was what he called his parents' dance in the show. Yeah.
Is that what we're calling it these days?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And
Okay.
yeah, it's a good show, and it's extremely inclusive. So I liked it, and that's why I chose it. And there you go.
All right. Well,
Oh, who did you choose, Bucko?
so for my character, I was debating between a lot of different options. I was considering Darth Vader from Star Wars, Harry Potter from obviously Harry Potter. I was thinking of Spider-Man and Batman, Wolverine, Natsu Dragoneel from Fairy Tale. I had a lot of
Hmm.
different characters that I was debating between because like I could make a moveset out of any of these. I was like, but which one do I want to do? And I was like, you know
Hmm.
what? You know what? There is a show. It's considered one of the best animated shows of all time. And I recently rewatched it. I think just last year, or maybe it might have been the year before that. I know you recently rewatched the show, actually. So there you go for that one.
Really?
You definitely did. And I was like, yeah, this
I
character,
know what this is.
they're a good character. Their show is
Hmm.
great, and what they do in their show leads to easy, super fucking easy moveset potential and moveset construction. So I decided, you know what? If I gotta put a fourth party character into Smash, I'm going to do Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender, the superior Avatar, and I don't mean superior to Korra, although it is. I mean superior to James Cameron's bullshit. The only reason anybody liked those movies is because they were drawn in by the 3D.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The
So you're
story
not
was
going to do one
terrible.
of the Navi today, huh?
God no, that story was
Ubisoft
not
sure
good.
is.
Was
I
it was
hear that.
Pocahontas in space with tail fucking. No thanks. No
Yeah, I
thanks.
don't know how they plan to do like 5 or 6 other movies after all that mess,
I
and why
don't
it's
know.
taken so long if they planned on it.
Because he's
Um,
waiting for 3D technology to get even better.
oh, good
Dude,
luck with that.
nobody fucking
That's
cares
fine.
anymore.
No,
But whatever.
no, they
But
don't.
yeah, I just like to go with Aang. You know, he is the leading protagonist in the show. Obviously, he is the Avatar. It's kind of misleading because they say the last Avatar, but there's really only ever one Avatar at a time. So can you really say that
Mm-hmm.
they're the last Avatar? Because when the Avatar dies,
Mm-hmm.
a new Avatar is reincarnated to whatever baby is being born at that time. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
could the title? Oh, wait, no, it wasn't called the Last Avatar. I'm dumb. It was Last Airbender.
The Last Airbender.
I'm an idiot there, because he is effectively the Last Airbender at that point. Because
Mhm.
everybody else is dead. Everything
Even
was fine until the Fire Nation attacked.
behind the meme, there is a story, and it is true.
Yes. The whole thing with this show and with the Avatar themselves is that to every generation there is one Avatar. Is because in this show, like actually I guess we need to talk about the premise of the show really. You have four nations of the world, each based off of one of the different elements. There's earth, fire, water, and air. And some people, they're just regular people. They don't have any special powers to them. But other people are called benders, and they can bend whatever their element is. So people born in the Water Nation can bend water. Fire Nation, fire. Earth Kingdom, earth. The Air Nomads, take a fucking guess. They bend air. There's other things you can do with
Nexus.
bending, but
Oh.
that's the main gist of it. And for the most part, everybody, well, those as for those people that can only bend their one element. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
find a waterbender that can also bend fire. That just doesn't
Mm-hmm.
happen. Except for the Avatar, who is capable of learning how to bend all four elements. And they're kind of supposed to be like not only the balance between the human world and the spiritual, but also be like, hey, can you guys stop fighting? They're kind of like the peace squad of the world, which is a lot for one person to fucking deal with, and that's incredibly stressful. So stressful, in fact, that one Avatar decided, you know what? Fuck all y'all. I'm just gonna go fucking surfboard all the time. I don't want to deal with that fucking stress. It did not go well for him. Just putting that out there. But here we have Aang. And Aang. Avatars generally learn about their state when they're, I think it's like 14 or 15 years old. It's usually when they learn that they're the Avatar and they get their training in the elements beginning. But what was happening when Aang was a kid, I think he was 12, 13 at the time. The Fire Nation has started a war against all other nations because they want to conquer everything. Isn't that just swell? And the other Air Nation monks are just like, well, shit, that's bad. We don't have a fully active avatar to deal with this. So guess what, buddy? We got some news for you. You're about to go into hyper focused trading. And Aang's like, no. You are putting all this pressure on a kid. I don't wanna. I'm gonna run away. Bye. And he does. And then he gets caught in a really bad storm while he's over the ocean and gets trapped in an iceberg for 100 years. The world went to shit in those 100 years. All his friends are dead. And he gets found by two other kids. And then he's like, well, guess I gotta travel the world and learn my shit to stop this from happening again. That's pretty much Aang's story. They have 3 whole seasons of it on Nickelodeon. It was a fucking amazing show. People loved it. It has a spin-off, The Legend of Korra, which is 4 seasons, although the fourth one is online only, never aired on Nickelodeon proper. And it focuses on the next Avatar after Aang dies, because he is air, so the next one in line would be water, and then it goes fire, and then it goes no, then it's earth, and it's fire. Got that mixed up there. It's always in that same cycle. But Aang's the popular one. People love Aang. People love the Last Airbender, and I figured, you know what? The whole thing of bending 4 different elements, there's 4 special moves. It just fits too perfect. I gotta go with Aang.
you make him a Sand Change character, you can have you can have 4 elements per each special move.
Now listen. Now listen. While yes, the different elements do also have some sub areas of bending, like with magma bending and sand bending and metal bending and
Yeah.
blood bending. I didn't want to do that, so no. Fuck stance changes. Man, I'm already giving myself too much work for some other ideas I'm working on. I didn't want to turn 8 into an 8 move character. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
Nickelodeon All Star Brawl will. Just kidding.
Don't think that's how that's going to happen. But alright.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. Yeah. Avatar is a show that I was into as well. When it first came out, I was probably in what, 5th grade. Didn't totally know what was going on because I was a doe-eyed boy, and now I'm a doe-eyed boy. You know, doe spelled differently. So
Yeah,
I
I caught it casually when it
went
was
back
airing
and
for the first time, but I didn't
hmm
like. I wasn't like watching each episode. But several years
hmm
later, I went and I looked up the whole thing. I just watched it all the way through. It was like, wow, holy shit, that's good.
really great
And
show.
a year or
Really
two
great show.
ago, again, I went back to it because, like,
hmm
man, I want to rewatch that show because there's things I don't remember.
Yeah, just the way the writing was done, where you have these basically two
Two
almost
guys.
two lead characters, and you're
That's
going back and forth between Aang and Zuko's story almost constantly between the 2 episodes. Masterfully executed. Very, very good show. There's a couple of
he
bum
is,
episodes, but yeah, it's literally a couple.
and he's well. I wouldn't say it's a couple. Um, but Inzuku also is considered to have like the best redemption story up there. Like I don't know,
Fantastic.
I don't know best in like all media, but it's definitely one of the best redemption stories. Period. It's like goddamn,
Yeah,
they do such a good job with him. And in the beginning,
the
he's
whole
just this
cast.
terrible
Yeah.
asshole. But season 2, they
Mhm.
start in with him changing until season 3, it's like, all right, I was dumb.
Mhm.
Wow. Holy, it's like when you look, it's like when you're in your late 20s, your early 30s, and you think about high school and it's like, oh God, Jesus, why?
Even better now that we have Facebook memories to look on
Oh,
every day.
I hid those notifications. I don't want to see that shit. Like, fuck you, Facebook. I don't want to see those memories. First of all, it just reminds me
Oh,
of how back in the day when Facebook started, they had it set so that all your updates started with the word is.
hmm oh yeah.
So now it looks weird when you see some of those older
hmm
status that's up there. It's like, God,
Yep.
Jesus.
Yep. Yep.
Or when you have
Um,
one that pops up, it's like, name is eating potato chips. Like, why did you post that? Why?
all
Jesus
the time,
Christ.
all the time with me. That it's cringe fest USA. Um, even as early ago as like 2012, 2013, it's like I don't want to see
You
that.
say early. That's 8 or 9 years ago.
Seriously, God, why, why?
Guess what,
um,
motherfucker? You're old.
the only solace I have is that you're older.
I know. I know. But that means I'll die first, so I win.
True enough.
Maybe a new me
Um,
will reincarnate somewhere around the world, and somebody will have to be like, all right, we're gonna throw some bones and find out where the next one of him is. Okay, is he in this sort of section of the city? Nope. All right, so he's somewhere over here.
good old Earth Kingdom.
Good old Earth Kingdom.
Um, they will find me, and I will be even worse than the one before. And Lord help us all, or someone like
We'll
that.
need it. We will need the fuck out of it. But that is who our two characters are going to be about today. We've got Steven Universe, we've got Aang, two four-party picks, two cartoon shows. God damn it!
Two
Really
Western
wish
cartoon shows.
we
Yeah.
had done that a little bit different. Like have one from comics or manga or a movie character or a book. Nope, it's two cartoons. Like god damn it. Okay, well at least they're not both Nickelodeon
Technically,
cartoons.
yeah, yeah. It's Nickelodeon versus Cartoon Network, just like
Yeah, which I mean
all
that's not
time.
bad. That's okay.
No, it's not. It's not. It kind
along
of
with
opens the door for future Smashtopias too, if you really wanted to. Now we can just have a comic episode or a manga episode. 10 years down the line.
okay, maybe in 10 years, maybe in 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
but not sooner than that.
In the meantime, Dr. Goomba Stack will become a reality.
Well, unfortunately, Dr. Mario World is dead. So, nope. Well, dying. It's dying. I think it's actually being turned off November 1st. So, happy birthday to me. Dr. Mario is dead. It's like, first they killed Mario, and now they're killing Dr. Mario. It's like, what the fuck, Nintendo? Jesus.
The fun irony of having done Dr. Mario so soon to that announcement too on
Like,
the show.
it's not even that they're stopping updates. It's that they're terminating the whole game. So you won't even be able to play it anymore. It's like, what?
Now, it's not a good game, but you should still be able to play it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's just weird.
Yeah, Nintendo is gonna Nintendo. They do online infrastructure. Just because they're better than they were 10 years ago doesn't mean they're good.
Yeah.
Because they're far from good. Nintendo Switch Online, NES and SNES apps.
In some respects, they went backwards. With
Virtual console.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Like, I understand that they don't want to do things the same way or whatever, but they should have at least put up an N64 and GameCube Nintendo Switch Online by this point. Like, come on. There's no
I think
excuse.
we're probably just going to fold with like a Game Boy one at some point, and then we'll be done.
If it's Game Boy, it needs to be Game Boy Advance. Like, at least get all the Game Boy stuff in there. But they'll just put up... They'll do things like Donkey Kong Land. It's like, yay.
Super Mario Land, even better.
I mean, at least that's a different game. Donkey Kong Land is just Donkey Kong Country, but on Game Boy.
True enough.
Yeah.
Pinball on NES. Hockey on it.
Tetris.
I mean, pinball on Game Boy. Yeah. Tetris on Game Boy. Hockey on Game Boy. Baseball on Game Boy. I would not put it past them.
I would not either. But now that we've got our two characters, I think it's time for us to go ahead and begin sharing what we have for each of them. I figure since we had you start introducing Steven, we'll just have you take the lead for each category we go on, because why not, I guess. Keep things consistent. So what do you have... What? What do you have for Steven Universe's entrance animation?
It's fairly simple. I was doing this arms outstretched because that's something Steven does in his opening credits when he's warping in from a warp pad. So he warps in from a warp pad, kind of tilting around in it in a pink beam of light. He gracefully lands on his feet, gets into his regular pose, and is ready to rumble, ready to go.
Okay.
That's all. How about
All right. So for Aang, you see this sphere of swirling winds, just like kind of already in there on the stage, and then it'll start, dissipate. The winds will stop being so strong. They'll fade away, and then just reveal that Aang is right there. He's got his staff in hand. He's ready to go.
Excellent. Again, Steven will gear up with his shield.
All right.
Captain America style.
Okay, so what's his Kirby hat thing? What's Steven got for that? I'm assuming it's just his big old hair?
Yeah. My understanding is that you can see that on the screen if you're watching on YouTube right now. A little bit anyway with the black background, but right down there you can see his beautiful locks of black silken hair just waiting to be felt and observed. And that's Kirby's. Kirby basically gets a small afro. So,
I mean, with some characters, it's like, what can you do? It's like,
what can you do?
At a certain point, it gets really hard for me to make a new Kirby hat, especially with all the different Links. It's just Link's regular cap, but it looks a little different. But it's just Link's cap each time.
Yeah. Wonder what bathtub Mario's would be. Anyway.
Well, probably just going to be Kirby in a bathtub, kind of like Sheba in Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, I would love that. Can we make that happen?
If you want to make a moveset for Shiba, go for it.
All right.
Okay, well, over on
Um,
the Aang side of things, his Kirby hat also very simple. Kirby hats usually are. You just got
mm-hmm,
that blue arrow tattoo that Aang has on his head, but now it's on Kirby's head.
mm-hmm.
Just the blue arrow
Oh,
tattoo.
man. Kirby deserves his tattoos, huh? He's earned them.
Additionally, though, just as a little added thing, because Aang also has the tattoos on his hands as well, so Kirby will have them on his arms too. Most Kirby hats don't have anything on the arms, but there is that rarity. And by that
Excellent.
rarity, I mean Kazuya.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And I figure
what a
it's a
fun time
small
right
enough
there.
detail, so fuck it, why not? And had to add it on there as well. If you're playing as the blue Kirby, there is a little outline on the arrow just to make it a little bit more obvious, because otherwise
Mm-hmm.
you can't see it.
Oh, so it goes. And instead of saying hi when Kirby uses one of his taunts, he says yip yip.
Yep, yep.
See, it was worth it all along. All along, it's totally worth it.
All right.
You know what I like about these episodes,
No.
where we're divvying it up between two separate movesets, two separate people.
What?
We're not going to spend 50 minutes on taunts and victory poses.
Yeah, because we don't have to debate anything. It's just us saying what we got.
Yeah, so if I want to bring back Orbulon's toilet paper shooter right now, or the courtesans for Aang, then you can do it.
He's not wrong. I hate it, but he's not wrong.
What a time to be alive. That being
Anywho,
said, it's yeah.
what taunts does Steven Universe have for us?
Okay, you want to just okay? Yeah, it's a dumb question. We will go back and forth. Um, for his up special, I need to
Up taunt?
get a quick yeah for his up taunt. I need to get a quick visual reference. Unfortunately, we don't have time for the song today, or else I'd break into it right now. Oh, they made some in real life. How pleasant. He gets a he like reaches into his pocket and gets a cookie cat and munches on it happily.
I'm gonna hope that.
That
Okay,
right there is
okay.
yeah.
It's an ice
Yep.
cream sandwich in the shape of a cat head. All right,
Yep.
that's.
Yep.
See,
Yep.
when you
Yep.
say cookie cat, two things went through my mind. It's a cat made out of cookies that lives, or it's a cookie in the shape of a cat. And I was like, please let it be the cookie in the shape of a cat. I don't know this show. It could be either or. So he eats a cookie. Okay, he eats an ice cream
Yeah.
sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
The
right.
theme of the very first and the very last episode of Steven Universe was involving Cookie Cat.
Oh, the show's
So
over?
the show ended in 2020, like in March 2020.
Ah.
Then, but they might bring it
So
back
the
in
show
2025
ending
and stuff.
caused the world to blow up, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Fuck.
pretty much, pretty much. They're orbiting with our own future by canceling Steven Universe, just like Nickelodeon canceled Avatar at a time because they're stupid,
They didn't cancel
and
Avatar. They just changed what's in.
moved it online, moved it online.
Yeah, the fourth
Weird move.
because it wasn't doing as well in the fourth season. Nickelodeon didn't like with some things they were doing with it. I guess I don't know.
The only thing I really didn't like about the fourth season is that it was clearly rushed, and it's probably because Nickelodeon did
I didn't
that.
like the villain.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, but
Interesting idea, not well. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
what?
what do you got for your other taunts?
Okay, we're just gonna do it that way. Okay,
Yeah, it's
that's
easier
fair.
that way.
Okay. His side taunt is Stephen. Oh God, I need to one other quick
Oh my
visual
god.
reference for the people watching. I know there's a lot. Luckily, the next visual reference I need, most people listen
Use
should.
your words. Words are
Oh my
important.
gosh! Well, he has a
I
cheeseburger shaped backpack, and it looks like a cheeseburger. And here's it in real life for everyone. There you go.
okay.
It's a cheeseburger backpack. He takes out the cheeseburger backpack, and one of multiple items he grabs from out of it. He sets it on the ground and grabs multiple items out of it. Similar to Pac-Man summoning taunt, where you can see like the Exevius or Mappy or whatever.
Heihachi.
Um, So, yeah. So this is going to be gibberish to you, having not seen the show, but potential objects to show off include his ukulele,
Don't have time.
dog copter, a light prism, sad apple, the eternity chalice, fish pizza, a bag of fragments, and a no homeboys novel.
Okay.
For his down, Steven flops on his butt on the pillow and plays his GameCube on a retro television set. And by retro, I mean the television set we would have playing our GameCubes on when we were kids, because sadly we're now almost 30, and that's reality. Then multiple title screens by display, and that includes various Nintendo games. Melee, Mario Sunshine, Wind Waker, Metroid Prime are listed. It could be more. And bada bing, bada boom. So I'm going to get into victory poses. You want to save that for
Well, we'll
later?
do that after my taunts.
Okay, let's do it.
But just make it clear, that last taunt of yours, he brings out a pillow, a TV, and a GameCube.
All pretty much immediately.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Just
right.
happens. Just happens.
Well, for mine, for Aang's first taunt, his up taunt, really, Momo, his pet winged lemur, will just kind of like crawl out from underneath his clothes and kind of climb around on top of him, get up on top of Aang's head, and then Aang will just be like, hey, scratch behind the ear, you're my good pal. And Momo's gonna like crawl back down, get in his clothes.
Yeah. Nice.
Had to have a Momo appearance. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna let you know there is no Appa appearance. Appa is too big.
Uh-oh. Maybe he's on a stage.
You know what? Yes, he will be involved in Aang's stage. I'll just say that right now.
Okay, there you go.
For Aang's
versus Azurda.
Nope. For Aang's side taunt, he's kind of gonna just like lean over to the side a little bit and create this like small ball of swirling winds, kind of like in that episode with the merchant. And he's just gonna have this big old goofy grin on his face as he's showing off that he can have this ball be here, and that he's just like playing around with it. There's like a little set of magnets or some shit that he has around, not magnets, but like little metal balls that are like being swirled around.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they made a callback to that in Korra.
Me too.
Because they had the same guy, and it's like, hey, here's a picture of old Aang doing the same thing. It's great.
Oh, it's nice to see that he didn't lose his spirit as an older man.
Nah. I mean, he did get a little bit more serious, though. A little bit. He's not a great father, though. Not a great father. For his final taunt, though, his down taunt, Aang's going to enter into a meditative state. So he's going to be sitting down, he's going to have his fists together like this as he does. His legs are crossed, his arrow tattoos on both his forehead and his arms are all glowing. And he's just kind of like, he's just sitting there while this is happening. And he stays there as long as you hold down the taunt button. This has no meter or anything to it. Originally, I was considering having a meditation type meter involved in his moveset. But since I scratched it out, I decided, you know what? Meditation is a pretty big thing. We'll go ahead and make that be one of his taunts.
So it's essentially like a limit break for the Avatar state.
That's pretty much what I was thinking of doing. I opted against just because there's not only been several characters recently smashed that have been getting either some kind of comeback mechanic or especially some kind of meter thing, such as Cloud has it. I know I'm pausing. I was like, there's more characters than there's more. Joker, Cloud and Joker are really the big two that have had it. But then we've also been discussing meters for several other characters just between us recently. I wanted to do something different. And if I did that, I would have had to come up with a whole other moveset, or if really a whole other moveset for Aang. I really did not want to. It's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. Because I could just make it be a stronger version, but I wanted to be like... Because it would have been him in the Avatar state, so I would have wanted to do like a something actually impressive for Aang. But I scrapped that. I came up with something that I thought, could be a little bit cool, a little bit better. And I decided, you know what, we'll just throw the meditation on the taunt. There's the reference for it. Fuck it, we'll go with that.
Okay. Cool. And I do like that that Momo has been given a proper spotlight.
Oh yeah, he's gotta.
Unlike Appa.
I mean,
Appa,
like
Appa was
if
being
Appa
sold
was
as
going to be
Imposter's pet.
anywhere, it would be victory pose only. But I already like what I have for my 3 victory poses, so I didn't really. There wasn't really a place for him.
Yeah, yeah. True, fair enough. And
Like I,
you know,
like
maybe
you kind of seen with a lot of other things. So like I'm not a big fan of bringing in other elements to
mhm.
taunt and victory poses a whole lot. Something small and quick like Momo is fine, but having a huge creature come flying in and the other character interacting with them for a victory pose, that's not something I have liked to do a whole lot.
Right.
Like I would never have had a character bring out a pillow TV and a GameCube.
It's kind of like only when it makes sense. Like Marshall, we had some cameos up, but people wouldn't remember that unless they went on the wiki in another year when he's posted. Um, um, anyway, speaking of which, now let's get into Steven's victory poses, where he brings in various elements from his franchise in every pose.
Oh dear.
There's a lot of very prominent characters in Steven Universe that are his friends or his relatives or whatever, that stand on just below him on a pedestal of like screen time. So I wanted them to have a show of as we have with other characters. But I now that you mentioned that, I do notice that I'm used to the one to bring that in. So it's funny how there's different
Yeah.
styles to be had, both of which have been prevalent and shown in Smash itself. So whatever.
Yeah.
Um, in this case, it makes sense for the character because you have several main characters in Steven Universe, several the Crystal Gems, his dad, his girlfriend, and there's not many other chances to show them off. May as well because it makes sense with the animation happening here. So this is similar. Speaking of Joker, to Joker's victory poses at first glance,
Okay.
but inspired by the original Steven Universe opening, where he and then Garnet, Pearl, and Amethyst, who are the crystal gems that are like his family, are running across in front of the beach, which they live in Beach City, so there's a lot of beach to be had. At the beach house.
Is it also in Beach Country?
No.
Beach Planet?
It's kind of just in the United States.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Florida.
I'm sorry to Steven if that's the case. Maybe maybe there's an alligator Steven that we don't know about. All the same,
Multiverse.
there is the Steven multiverse. Number one. So Steven is joined by the crystal gems, Garnet, Pearl, and Amethyst in that order, and leading the charge as they run across the beach backdrop. And they're running like like a platformer from left to right with a beach backdrop. There you go.
Okay.
Number two, oh yeah, he has a lion that is his friend, and the lion's name is Lion, and it's a pink lion. Like he has a rose quartz in his belly button, so there's a relation there. Um, so he's joined by Lion in the second taunt. He's on Lion, and has his girlfriend Connie holding on to him with her giant sword over one shoulder and running forward on the same backdrop. Then the third has him leaping shotgun into Greg's van, who is his father, who is Greg Universe, who owns a car wash,
I see why you like the
and
show.
runs it in, and he lives in his van.
Oh.
So it's like
Wait,
my dad and
wait, hold up. Hold up. So his dad lives in
Yeah.
his van, but he
Mm-hmm.
lives in a house with rocks that can talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why does his dad not get to live in the house?
Light spoilers, he is semi estranged from the gems, but not really, but kind of.
How do you get estranged from your own pet rock family?
Um, well, this gets into the lore of the universe, if you will. And that being that let's see, how do we explain this?
I don't know.
There one of the crystal gems was in love with Steven's mother, who was a crystal gem named Rose Quartz, who Greg, who was a human, eventually got with.
Mm-hmm. And this other
Yeah.
Jim was not happy.
No, although Steven's mother also is Steven, um, and he like has the rose quartz because she was rose quartz, and when she gave birth to him, she permutated into his stomach, and he just has her gem. And people just think, like other gems throughout the series, think that he is rose quartz because he has the rose quartz gem, and get him confused for his mom all the time, which leads to various conflicts.
What?
Yep.
What the fuck is this show?
And there's a whole subreddit as well.
There's one for everything, so you can't even say that.
Yep. r/Greg fucked a rock.
I mean, it's accurate.
Very accurate.
And then The Rock said, "Get out of my house," and it's just a sad, sad story.
No, he dropped Steven off with them kind of willingly because
It's
he
like
needed
when you
train.
buy. It's like when you get a pet rock, and the rock kicks you out of your own house. It's like, but you're a rock. But it's my house. Like, but rock, literally non-living thing. Too bad. Get out of my house.
Oh, don't worry. They're alive in this show, and they due to the refraction of light, they have physical forms, as you've probably seen through some of the artwork, and they have weapons and everything.
Kingdom Hearts makes more sense than this shit.
Not quite.
Well, the first game does. Up until they introduced fucking time travel.
There you go.
That's when Kingdom Hearts started going a little bit much for me, was the time travel. It's like, alright, I was with you for a while. Things made sense until that. It's like, Jesus.
You know, I don't think Steven Universe has ever done time travel, shockingly.
Well, you know who else hasn't done time travel? Avatar. Even though we could get a good Warriors game out of it.
Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Let's go
Juan
for
and
that.
his bush creature friend.
The little eye spirit. Dude, that's a good character. Such a shame he's only in 2 episodes.
I know.
That's good.
But yeah,
that's
for the third time, Steve jumps into shotgun into Greg's van, which says like Mr. Universe on the side of it, because he used to be a rocker, also a rock, like a local rock star. Yep. And you should see this guy. He has hair down to his knees and a bald head. He looks like a rocker monk, homeless man. Thinking about how he would look in real life is terrifying. It's great.
Jack Black.
Again, same beach backdrop. But the victory jingle, which is just a little like Steven Universe opening, pluck pluck on the guitar or whatever, is replaced by Greg's song, "Let Me Drive My Van Into Your Heart."
Okay.
I could sing it to you.
No.
But
no.
Copyright claims.
That's one of the reasons why I say no. Anywho, victory poses for Aang. So my first one here, you remember the air scooter? You know, he creates that little ball of wind that he kind of like sits on and rides. It's actually his invention. He came up with that. He completely invented that whole little bending technique. But you know, he's gonna come in from on screen. He's gonna be riding on his air scooter, speeding by, got this big old grin on his face. He's laughing, and the camera just kind of like stops on him as he's like going, like just past the midway point, and he's just got this hell of a time look on his face. Like, man, I'm just here to have fun. I beat some people up, and now I'm riding around on a scooter. They have a whole wacky set of courses for me to run on. It's great. He would love Temple as a stage.
Oh, I can hear him now.
Gotta do the reverse high roll jump. For my second victory pose, again, Aang gonna have a huge grin on his face. It's kind of a thing with him. He's going to spin about, jump in the air as though he's gathering winds all up around himself, and just go in a flying leap up in the sky as winds propel him up forwards as he yells out a big old Yahoo. And he's pretty much gone from the screen at that point.
Nice.
If Appa was going to be anywhere, he'd be there, but I think it's fine with him just essentially Superman jumping up into the air.
Yeah, it's fine. That sounds fun.
Yeah. For my third victory pose, oh boy, here we go. So, you know the intro to the show. It's
Yes.
the intro to the show.
Uh,
So, he's going to be, you know, the beginning of the show where they do the earth, fire, water, air, they have like the different master bender doing all the different poses? Yeah. So, Aang's going to be going through each of those poses, going in the same order as that what the show has. So, he's first going to take on the water tribe stance, creating a large globule of water and sending it flying off screen. Then he's going to get into an Earth Kingdom stance, stomping to the ground, causing a large boulder to fly up out of the ground and be kicked off screen. He's transitioned to a Fire Nation stance, leaping into the air as a lash of flame comes down onto the ground with a kick, and then finally finishes off with an air nomad stance, what he's most familiar with as a whirling of arms creates a tornado of wind being sent flying straight towards the camera. It's just that whole sequence from the from the beginning of the show, but Aang doing it this time around. Had
Sweet.
to be in there. Had to be there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Does it look aesthetically similar to the opening, or is he fully visible?
No, he's I think he should be fully visible, but there is an argument for it to have the same silhouette thing. But I think I prefer being him fully visible.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, it shows that he has mastered the bending, so why wouldn't he show it off?
Yeah.
So, and that's cool. If you're going to give him a little bit more of a serious time, it may as well be that. That's a neat callback.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, at this point, we can go ahead and go into our special moves now. I figure at this point, we'll trade off. You'll do your standard, then I'll do my standard, then your side, my side.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, that way we're not just spending 20 minutes or 30 minutes on Steven at all at once, or the other way
And
around.
then gives each of us a chance to breathe and take a drink.
Yeah, breathe, take a drink, comment, whatever. Talk more about how the morality of rocks and humans.
We don't have to.
Yeah. That being said, Steven's standard special is speaking of comic book characters. One that I mentioned already a little earlier. It's shield toss.
Okay.
Fair enough. So Steven is able to, from his crystal gem, which is on his where his belly button is.
Sure.
As you know, he's able to summon a multitude of weapons from it throughout the show. A couple of which we'll see here, or 3 or 4. But he has a swap of them. Like he can get a whip, he can get a sword, he can get a shield. But the shield is he's kind of because he's such a peaceful character, and that's kind of the whole thing.
He prefers defense.
Yeah, the defensive weapons are his primary bag. So shield toss, and yeah, it's very similar to a Captain America, or no, not quite a Red Guardian. He doesn't have the flair for that. But anyway, he summons a shield and throws it forward. So obvious enough. It travels in a forward-moving pattern with trajectory similar to a frisbee. So you're throwing it up, it kind of has a slight upward arc before going back down at its midpoint, kind of. So a standard throw, it's not going to really bear a whole lot of fruit in the form of damage or knockback. But you can deflect projectiles with it, and you can make an opponent flinch. Haha. You could charge it, and that'll, of course, see it thrown further and harder, damage and knockback. It's faster, so on and so forth. Its upwards arc also degenerates the harder it's thrown. So, given the intensity of the throw at full charge, for instance, it'll be a straightforward throw.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shield is also able to bounce from off of surfaces. So again, very Captain America-esque. moving in the opposite direction once it bounces off of something, carrying heavier momentum until it disappears or returns to Steven or hits an opponent. So if the shield touches Steven during its flight, it won't hurt him, but it'll return to his wrist and then disappear. As the shield hits walls or opponents, it will occasionally vibrate. These vibrations will cause mild damage and are capable of deflecting projectiles.
Okay.
Yeah. If a heavy projectile hits the shield directly, it as well as the shield will be deflected from each other. So it's a versatile move with elements of unpredictability. So I knew that his shield, you don't see it a whole lot in the show, but it has moments where it can vibrate and do exactly that after it's taken a big hit. Almost like how Black Panther's suit, at least in the MCU more recently, can build up a lot of momentum.
Right.
Similar to that. So the harder it's hit, the more likely it'll be able to send off a larger vibration.
Okay.
And that's that.
I do have a question on it. You said that if it hits a wall or an opponent, it can bounce back. But I assume then if it doesn't hit anything, it's just like a frisbee toss. It's not going to boomerang itself back automatically.
Yeah, it's a frisbee toss. It just lands on the ground, disappears. The end.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yep.
Oh, as for Aang, I've got something here that is not like anything else in Smash. And you know I love when I can do that.
Buddy.
So this, well, I guess actually first before I mention what this is, for each of Aang's 4 special moves, I wanted each of them to be one of the 4 different elements that can be bent. I knew when I was first coming up with ideas for Aang that I was like, okay, down special has to be Earth, side special has to be Water. But I was really debating between standard and up and fire and air. Because at first I'm thinking, okay, well, it makes the most sense for air to be the up special. Because then, he could get a big old jump into the air, and that just makes the easy sense. But I also was like, but he's the last airbender. He was an air nomad before he found out he was the Avatar. Having fire be his standard just felt really weird to me. But I was trying to figure out, okay, well, if I don't do that, because I also had like a very easy fire standard special I could do. I was like, okay, well, if I make air be standard, I need to come up with something that can actually work for him with air, but also an up special for fire. And it took a little bit of thinking, mainly for the fire, but I was like, what to do for that? And I was looking into different fire moves. I had kind of like a base idea, but I needed to make sure that it was an actual technique. And it sort of is. When I was doing research on it, I didn't find an exact match to what I had in my mind for what was on the Fire Nation or list of fire type bending techniques. But I found one was like, okay, that's kind of close. We'll just say it's a modified version of that because fuck it. I needed something. But, so that means for my standard special, we're going with an air elemental attack here. Although I say the word attack, and it's really not an attack at all. This is a fully utility move. It's his air scooter.
Oh.
So,
nice.
Aang's going to create a ball of wind beneath him. He's going to sit on top of it, just like he does in the show. And you could even almost call it, I don't know, a stance change of sorts. While he's on the air scooter, he can be hit if he's hit with enough knockback. Not like a minor attack's not going to do must, but like something like
much.
Yeah, like Fox's blaster isn't going to do anything, but Ike doing quick draw, yeah, that'll work. It'll knock him off of it. He's going to be the air scooter gets broken away and he flies away a bit. But while he is on the air scooter, his mobility is greatly enhanced. He can move faster, like he's running around the stage. He just runs faster now. He can also hover in midair, similar to Peach's hovering technique with her umbrella, or the super leaf. He has an extra midair jump with the air scooter. So he has like all this crazy stuff he can do with the town. He also has faster movement, just going about through the air like Jigglypuff does. This is all crazy shit for him, but it makes sense because he is an air nomad.
Yeah.
Here's the really nuts part though. If he runs towards a wall while on the air scooter, goes up the wall. It doesn't really work strictly as a recovery thing if he's falling, because he's kind of falling at that point. But maybe somebody would be able to get it to work. So he can do
Mm-hmm.
all this to help him just like have crazy mobility through the sky. Unfortunately, his offensive capabilities are significantly reduced when he's in this state, and he's only able to perform basic jabs and tilts, which do differ from his usual jabs and tilts, which is why I say it's kind of a stand change because his normal A attacks do change a little bit. They're not
Mm-hmm.
going to be very strong though, especially in comparison, because this is more meant to be a utility type of deal. He can't do any other attacks, so if you try to do a different special, it'll cancel the air scooter. So you can do that. So you can cancel out of it either doing that or just like tapping standard special again, and the air scooter just dissipates and he's back to his normal state. But you can be on it
Very nice.
indefinitely. So
Very nice. Yeah, that changes things
a little
quite a
bit,
bit.
a little bit.
Especially moving up the sides of walls and everything.
Yep.
No, that's I don't think people would besides yourself would have come up with that move, and that's how you can stick it to Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl,
We'll see.
because
We'll see what
Aang
they do.
will probably be in it, but
Yeah, he's got to be in it.
we'll have to see what they do. I think it's going to be pretty rudimentary compared to that,
Probably.
so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, what a way to call back to the character. And again, you did mention that Aang created that technique,
He
which
did.
he did, and remember that episode very well with all of the little children who no longer wanted to play it with him after he was revealed to be the Avatar.
They
Uh,
also created that game
uh-huh.
just to use the air scooter. Like that game was essentially created by him too.
Hmm.
Like they made the game to
Hmm.
use the air scooter technique.
Yeah. So very cool. And then you see it used by other characters later on in Korra and beyond. So it's lasted,
Yeah.
and it's earned its place. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Um, I'm saying that like I'm expecting to hear your side special, but I remembered I had my own thing I had to do.
You do. You got to do your side special first.
Okay. So the side special is bubble,
Bravo.
bubble. So like a bubble. So Steven takes out his trusty bubble wand and a little bottle full of bubbles, and he's able to walk around the stage while blowing bubbles. And these bubbles, well, they're just bubbles. He's just blowing bubbles. That's it.
What do they do?
They like disappear because they're made of soap and water. They don't last very long.
What does this do as an attack?
Okay, so Steven summons his trusty pink bubble for this move, which is he puts his arms out and a large shield-esque bubble encapsulates his entire body.
Okay.
That sounds a little better than
A little
what was
bit.
initially pitched, I hope. So it entirely surrounds him. At first glance, this is a nothing move. He's just standing there in the bubble. However, it is actually multifaceted. For starters, Steven is able to pick up momentum in the bubble by revving up, and you can do that by charging the attack in either direction, left or right. And he can push, so you'll see him be pushing forward on the bubble, moving his feet as he begins running in place. And after a short period of time, it'll be fully charged, and he'll just fling forward. Which I don't know. And then besides that, you can also move around it uncharged. So kind of like a little hamster ball. You're just moving in a motion forward and around. But then anyway, a mid to fully charged spin inside of it after you've revved up kind of reflects a spin dash, but more like if I performed a spin dash than Sonic.
Jigglypuff's rollout.
Yeah, yeah. So at full charge, the bubble. Oh, but at full charge, the bubble grows spikes around it. So this is where it gets more interesting. So you can damage opponents more heavily with it, of course, and you can potentially spike them with the move as well. So the bubble and Steven work in conjunction to ram into opponents, and it's fun to see. Like the shield, it's susceptible to knockback itself. So Steven can be knocked around by walls or his opponents, like a game of human pinball. And if his bubble hits a wall while it's spiked, it will stick to the wall. So it
Okay.
offers a different type of recovery option. And then enough damage racked up, but over time, like if you've been repeatedly hitting the bubble, it will eventually pop. And then, but that has a bit of a sonic outburst too, which can damage opponents and break shields and make them flinch for a certain amount of time. And that, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So your side special is bubble. Mine, as I mentioned
And,
before, is water type. Well, not water type, but water
oh.
element. So it's like, yeah, you've got that little connection there. Mine doesn't involve bubbles though. Mine is it's a very basic and probably one of the most basic, if not the most basic, water bending technique out there. We
Mhm.
see it. It's one of the. I think it's actually the first one we. Well, this
Oh,
is
the
really the
water whip.
second one we
Sorry.
see in the show. Because the first one we see in the show is them just kind of like piloting the boat by moving the water.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
really, it's the second one. Yeah, it's the water whip. It's just
Yeah.
very easy. It's reliable. It makes a lot of sense for a side special. It's going to it's just kind of like rival the Belmonts for their whip length,
Oh,
just for
nice.
having a good reach for attack. Doesn't rival Min Min's range though, because good God, Min Min. But this one, Aang's just going to kind of like sweep his arms forward in a flowing motion, gathering water from the air, and he just creates this small, at first, just like a little globule of water. But then, as he moves around, the water will stretch out and it's going to be flung forwards in a whip-like motion for a very quick but relatively weak stinging attack. It doesn't have a lot of knockback to it, but it is great at hitting opponents at range. You can tilt it a little bit with the control stick. Just kind of like people who are trying to come up from above or people down from below. You don't have like full range of it. It's just like just a cone really of range, but it's meant to be just like a good keep away move of sorts.
Nice, nice. And I like this. It speaks to how iconic these episodes of Avatar are because
Yeah,
I can pinpoint the exact times and episodes like where we are in the story when these are first introduced as you're saying. I was like, oh yeah, that's when Katara got pissed at Aang for being better at waterbending than her
yep,
when she was waterbending for many years,
yep.
and then pirates attacked. What a time! Pirates, classic characters.
Yeah,
Best.
yeah. They even don't have names, or at least the first mate has a name. The captain does not have a name. It's like, what?
Uh-huh.
All
Uh-huh.
right.
It's like, okay. Um, yeah, okay. Um, my my up special, right,
Hmm.
is Watermelon Steven is what the up special is called. So a bit of background on this move before we get into it. Um, so Steven has the ability to give inanimate objects life. He found out early on that he can heal people. His mom was able to heal people through her tears.
Okay.
Um, he's able to heal them with a spit. Yep.
I
So
don't
him and
like
him
it.
and Connie, who Connie has eyeglasses, she has bad sight, were sipping on the same apple juice, and then she sipped it and was able to see with 20/20 vision. And he's like, "Oh my god, my healing powers come through my spit."
That's disgusting.
Anyway,
Also, how is this an
at
up
some
special?
point, an entire collective of watermelon people came to life that kind of looked like him, and it all started from him spitting on a watermelon, if I remember correctly.
What?
And they have like an island, and they're watermelon tribes people, and they just live out there. And he's able to telepathically connect with them and like see what they're doing on the island, and at one point he's able to possess them and become them.
I feel like you're bullshitting me. But I
Oh,
but I don't know the
I'm
show
not.
at all, so I don't know. Also, how the
I
fuck is this
am.
an up special? This just sounds like a random tangent.
You'll see. You'll see. But just for visual reference, there you go.
Thanks, I hate
It's a
it.
thing that's real. um. So he has a handful of watermelon seeds that are sown directly in front of him. Um, and their placement is evident. So the watermelon seeds are placed on the ground. It's evident because there's a gentle pink aura around where the seeds were placed, just permutating from off of the ground. And then plant sprouts immediately begin peering out from under the earth. And that's it. That's the up special at first, right? But then another tap of the up special input has Watermelon Steven will suddenly grow from the seeds. So we get rid of the part where he spits on it. Let's just assume his hands had spit on it, right? So Steven is automatically transported into the body of the Watermelon Steven that has appeared from underneath the seeds. And it explodes a split moment later. And they have their own language that sounds like just what? Whoa. So it has a Victoria. It's like, what? And explodes. And the explosion has considerable damage and knockback opportunities, depending on the proximity of opponents. And then after the explosion as well, watermelon slices may appear around the blast site. So Steven can work to eat them up before other people do. He can sow only one handful of watermelon seeds at a time, so that kind of helps to prevent teleportation spamming. The seeds also disappear after about 10 seconds. So there's ample room to teleport to them, but less room for kind of more strategy. So while inside of the Watermelon Steven, he has super armor, allowing him to rack up damage while in this form. But he can't be knocked off stage, of course. So there you go.
What? I don't understand any of that. First of all, what if you use it while you're in the air?
Throws them towards the ground, and you can get into them while they're falling. It's a unique type of recovery because I figured you have the bubble for a lot of sideways movement. This can be a more interesting recovery option.
See, through most of your description, I'm still not convinced otherwise. It just sounds like a down special. Because
You
it sounds
throw,
like he throws
yeah.
seeds down first. So tap one, it's like, okay. And then tap 2, a
Mhm.
watermelon man appears. It's like, okay. I
Yeah.
don't see where the rest of this move is. I'm so
Oh, and
confused by this. This does not make a lick of sense to me.
well, when the watermelon man appears, the water Steven has transported into him, and then it explodes, and that's the movie. So Steven then appears where the watermelon Steven was.
So he doesn't even go up at all. He's just standing there and explodes immediately. So this
Right.
is a non-recovery move.
Oh, it's a type of recovery move. It's
How?
a it's a teleportation move. So you're moving from it's
Okay,
not traditional
nowhere in there
recovery.
did you
You're
say
moving from one place to
teleportation
another.
at all.
Oh yeah, I figured that it would
Nowhere.
be. Oh yeah, you did. I said Steven is automatically teleported into the body of the watermelon
Yes,
Steven.
in the body, but that doesn't. I'm getting the picture of, like, he's here. The watermelon man just appears in front of him. That's what's going through my mind during your description.
Oh no. You can be anywhere on stage and make the watermelon appear.
Okay, so what you're saying is it's a setup teleport.
Right.
You put seeds down somewhere in the stage at some point, and then the next time you tap up special, assuming they probably go away after a certain amount of time, I would guess. Then he just
Right.
teleports to wherever that spot was, wherever you had it set.
Right.
Okay, see, that was not clear. It sounded like Villager's tree, is what it sounded like to me. Is how that worked.
Right. Right, right. But no,
Okay.
you sow the seeds and then you run around, you're knocked around, and then you can be teleported to that spot.
Okay. So what if you have seeds then, but you want to replace seeds somewhere else?
Then you would press another button input to get the seeds away because or really the seeds stay there for 10 to 15 seconds, so you might just be stuck with them there.
Okay.
Just so that way it's not. I think if you were able to freely place seeds again and again, it would be a little OP, just
Well,
given that you can
yes.
teleport there. Yeah, yeah.
That's why I was
So
trying to figure out
so
like the
I
mechanics of this because things were not
right,
making sense to me.
right. I had it written down that you can only have one pair of seeds sown at a time, and then within 10 seconds they disappear.
Okay.
Yeah,
Boy, that's an odd one.
it is. It was
It still
inspired by
sounds
another.
like a down special to me. Is the thing
Yeah,
too. It sounds
yeah.
like a down special, which would be interesting
Maybe
to
in
have that
Smash.
type of
Yeah,
move as a down
yeah.
special. Just like being able to lay
Hmm.
down a teleport pads essentially. Like that's actually an interesting idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well for my up special, this is a move that Aang never is seen using in the show. He doesn't do much with fire during the course of the show,
Right,
partly because it's the
right.
last element he finally learns, and also just he doesn't like using it.
Hmm.
So I had a hard time with this one. In the move, the idea that cause like the move that I'm thinking of, it is in the show, but I couldn't find an exact match name wise on the wiki. So it kind of went with what like seemed like the closest to me. This is actually something that we see Azula use, and I figure there's no reason why he wouldn't be
Oh,
able to learn it as
okay.
well. This is Fire Lash. So for this move,
There you go.
Aang is going to leap up into the air, and as he approaches the height of his jump, his foot is going to ignite with flames, and he's going to spin himself around, kind of like with a cartwheel, and he's just going to like jet out his foot a bit. And then as he plummets downwards, his foot will hit the ground first, causing a little wave of fire, essentially, to travel along the stage a little bit. There's more of a bigger blast of really more like a flash of fire, like at the actual impact. But then the traveling flame is a lot smaller, but it kind of goes like quickly and then like will dissipate as further it goes down. Because it kind of
Hmm.
creates like I wouldn't say like a whip of flame, but it's more like more or less kind of acts as it travels down because it's like a little line of fire. But
Hmm.
it's that's pretty much what I had for it. I was struggling with fire. I was like I don't know. I needed something up. And I was like, okay, well, there's characters that have that kind of go up and they go down attack, so
Hmm.
I can work with this. I can have like create a string of fire that goes forwards as he lands. We see Azula use
Right.
it. I think we see a couple other characters use it in the show, but Aang, he never really messed with fire, so it had to
Hmm.
be a little bit inventive.
It had to be, and it works out pretty well. I mean, I think it makes more sense than him using a technique like lightning, for instance.
Yeah, I definitely was
Um,
not going to give him
yeah,
lightning. If I had gone with standard special for fire, it was going to be that standard. They essentially puff or punch little
yeah,
fire blast
yeah,
for
yeah.
because that's the most common fire thing they do.
Hmm.
But for it didn't make any sense for an up. I could have done the little rocket propulsion thing that Azula is seen doing, but
Hmm.
I was like, okay, we've got a few things that are. I didn't really feel excited by that one.
Right.
Granted, both that and Firelash are kind of something that we see from several different characters already, but Firelash seemed more
Hmm.
fun than just essentially rocket boots.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you see Azula and Ozai, and then I think Mako as well using for it, which is cool, which is cool. It works with the character. Just like Aang, you weren't quite sure what to do with fire, so it works. No, I think it's neat. So functionally, it works similar to to what like an Aether, but with flames.
Um, well, Aether doesn't really have that like that traveling portion. Or I don't think there's really any other
Right.
specials that do. Um,
Hmm.
I know King Dedede has little stars that get created immediately to his left and right when he lands, but those
Hmm.
are only like immediately there. They don't travel at all. But I mean,
Right. Right.
it's in
Right.
that same category of Ether and Super Dedede jump where you go up, you go down, and then
Right.
an
Right.
attack
Right. Right.
happens.
Oh,
But
cool. Cool.
also,
And
I actually forgot to mention, uh, if you make contact with somebody while you're in the air, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of like you drag them down with you. Well, not when you're going
Mm-hmm.
up, but when you're going down, because at this point your foot is on fire and they're being pulled in.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, cool. Cool. It captures, I think it captures how fire is portrayed in Avatar pretty well too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty brash and out there. Okay, cool. Yeah, no worries about talking about an up special that makes no sense.
Oh God, what'd you do?
Because- oh no, we already went through that with Watermelon Steven.
Well, I meant like what you're
Um,
down now.
oh, the down is actually pretty straightforward, to be honest with you.
Okay, I thought you were saying
Um,
like the
it's
down has him jump. It's like why?
Yeah, no, I can see exactly what you're saying with the Watermelon Steven being a down special, and that would work a lot more commonly for Smash. I'll give you that much. Which is why I made it the up here in a move set that you had no say in because I knew you had never greenlighted.
You pulled a
And also,
Sephiroth with Octoslash.
exactly, and it was partially Sephiroth. It was partially because I'm getting into Rivals of Ether now,
Mm.
and there is a character named what I think it's Orca or something, and it's literally an orca with 4 feet.
Mm.
And it has a water spout move that operates very similarly, where you're using your up special, it creates like a water puddle, and then you can travel back to it. And I was like, this is stupid when I first started playing it. Now I'm like, this is now my main character that I use while playing it. It works. It worked, and somehow in the Rivals of Ether world, at least they've made it so it's not OP because
Mm.
that's something that can easily happen to because you're teleporting, but it's fairly obvious where they are, so
Right.
opponents can go to it. So there's it's just becomes a game of keep away. Um, it's not, and because you can still be damaged while you're being teleported back, it's not keeping you on the stage for a whole lot longer if you're not a good player.
Right.
Um, so kind of just that. So the down special is light cannon. The light cannon is a light cannon. It looks kind of like a rosebud in a cannon, kind of like that for visual reference again for
Oh,
people
okay.
watching. There you go. Just one of them. Just one of them. So one of those light cannons appears beside Steven. This is something that he uses his rose quartz powers to kind of activate. Um, so with his arms outstretched, he has it point forward, and it shoots a vibrant stream of just bright light, like a hyper beam, almost just straight across the stage.
Okay.
Um, so its reach is quite strong. So it can say you're like say you didn't have an obstruction on like a temple, for instance, with that one platform that's raised on rocks. It could travel from like one side of the temple to the other without being so long as it's not obstructed.
Right.
Um, so knockback is naturally it's minimal. So the move, so there's lots of build up lag. It's minimal knockback, but it travels far.
Okay.
Um,
So
it
it's
can,
so
but you
it's
can,
more like
yeah.
it's kind of similar to how Palutena in Smash 4 had that light base attack, where if you just stay in her light, you're taking constant damage, but there's no knockback to it, as opposed to
Right.
I'm forgetting what it's called, the Daybreak, where it's just like here's
Mhm.
a giant cannon attack, you're fucked.
Right, right. And you can charge it up and you can make it knock back a little more and damage a little more. But you get all of that. It's a move that takes a long time to charge when you do that. So
Right.
you can make a viable knockout. It's going to take a lot of setup. Um,
Can it be aimed at all, or
so
is it just like a straight line shot?
right. It we are getting there. So that's so you landing a hit. It's kind of better for kind of a free for all. So it's like a 4-person smash, an 8-person smash. You can get a lot of unwitting players into the line of fire at once. Um, so yeah, you can keep airborne opponents away from landing sneak attacks on them by angling it. So that is true. You can angle it from pretty much I don't know, a 180. So you're looking at an orange slice. You can angle it in any way, and that's just holding down the down that B button input or special input and angling it whichever way after you activate the move.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and once it's been angled and set in place, You just kind of leave it there, and there's a bit of build-up lag. So the cool thing for Steven is that he can move away from it and kind of just use the rest of his moveset as it has those several seconds build up into blasting off. And that's that.
Okay. All right. Well, mine's done special. We're into the earthbending now, and Jonno, if you were to take a guess, or maybe not necessarily a guess, but what would you say is the most common earthbending technique seen throughout Avatar? But maybe not the most common. Maybe that's the wrong word to use. What is the most symbolic or iconic earthbending technique?
Uh, a couple come to mind, so I could easily be wrong and made look like an idiot, which would be fine. But I'm thinking when an earthbender kicks into the ground, has a rock come up from the earth floating in place, then they like kick or punch forward and it sends the rock flying towards an opponent.
Hmm. Do you know what they call that? They
No.
call that rock shield. You know why I know
Oh, okay.
that?
Because you looked it up.
Because that's the move I chose.
There you go.
I'm
There
also
you go.
noticing with this that each of at least with Water Whip, more or less Fire Lash and Rock Shield, those are pretty much the moves that we see in the intro sequence for Avatar. Like
Yeah.
I did not actually realize that when I was putting this together. I was like, oh shit. Then I'm actually saying these out loud. I was like, oh wow, these are the intro attacks. The only thing different is I did air scooter instead of tornado of wind. Because let's be real, air scooter is more fun.
Yeah, we'll keep the tornadoes for Deckard Cain.
We'll keep them for Sharknado. Nope.
Don't be careful what you will into the world.
I really should. That's how you got here.
Well,
Anyways, for this
yeah.
move, Aang is gonna like have like a solid Earthbender stance out on the stage. He's just gonna like stomp one foot into the ground, causing a spire of rock tree right out of the ground, roughly Aang's height, which kind of like just is a shield. This isn't just like floating in there. This is just like jutting out from the ground to start out with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and this has its own HP value and can be destroyed. So you can use it as either a shield to help be a barrier and protect Aang. As maybe Aang just wants to like stay there or run. Maybe he wants to charge up Super Scope or something. I don't know, but maybe he wants to do that. And the rock can be destroyed after about it's taking 20% of damage. So that's pretty decent health value I think for a shield that you can have on the stage. Either that or once 8 seconds have passed, then it's going to crumble away and it's gone. As the rock shield takes damage, it will change shape a little bit. As bits and pieces of it will start breaking off to show you how damaged it is. Additionally,
Right.
if Aang is standing next to this rock and he uses the down special again, then it's going to be kind of like the villager's down special, where he plants a sapling, he grows a tree, takes the axe out to drop the tree. Except in this case, it's only a 2-button thing: create rock and then kick rock.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll give the rock.
There you go.
Actually, I don't think he'd kick. I think it's going to be more of a punch for Aang. So he would end up be punching the rock forwards, and whatever was remaining of the chunk, because it could have taken damage, now it's going to be in a smaller form, will go flying forwards. The more intact the rock shield was before Aang punched it and sent it flying, the more damage, the more knockback it will do. So if it's at full strength, it's at full power. If it only had 1% weight before it was damaged, it can be considerably weaker.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, again, it's pretty cool. I like how that turned out with using some of the more iconic moves for bending. You unseemingly came about the very intro that you referenced in the victory poses.
Yeah.
So funny how that works out. Maybe this was in the hands of fate all along. This very moment was decided through the cockles of time and space long before you and I were ever born.
I don't think so.
You were destined to create Aang.
I make my own fate, motherfucker.
Yes, within this sacred timeline or another.
All right, with that, final smash time. What do you got for yours? What Steven Universe got at his belly button?
A whole lot more than you would expect.
Clearly.
So, in this case, though, he has obsidian up his belly button, which is another gem. So, in Steven Universe,
I mean, obsidian
gems
is a
can
rock,
fuse.
but okay.
Yep. gems can fuse. And there are various well, gems are also rocks, but anyway, they kind of dance around and perform their technique to fuse together into various forms. And when Steven's friends and the crystal gems, garnet, amethyst, and pearl, fuse with Steven, they form obsidian, which is like a 30-foot monstrosity from the Eldritch times that kind of reminds me of Exodia from Yu-Gi-Oh, just very lightly. Just very, very lightly. Because the influence is clearly more probably more Aztec, I would say, looking at it. Visual reference.
Okay.
It's that hulking beast.
So they do a Dragon Ball fusion dance and become a Gundam.
Yes.
All
And
right.
you know, yeah, they're showcasing their own vibrant personalities when they dance. And then they glow a bright white light, and before you know it, they fused into obsidian. Obsidian leaps towards the back of the stage, and then you get a star-shaped reticle like Steven's shirt, um, which appears over the foreground. So kind of think like Samus's Final Smash, Snake's Final Smash, where you're going into the background, or Bowser's Final Smash, where you're going into the background in Ultimate, which is freaking awesome. Um, the player is able to aim this reticle anywhere that they prefer on the stage. So pressing the standard or special button kind of unleashes the same thing, where Obsidian will let loose just this wicked stream of fire from their mouth that will pretty much obliterate anyone caught in its way. It's a massive blowback if you're hit by it. And as you're letting loose with this great flame from Obsidian, the player is able to tilt the control stick left and right, so then you're controlling this great massive fire. You go very slowly one direction or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then after that, following that, the fire breath may be used upwards of 2 or 3 times before the crystal gems disband from the fusion, and then Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl hug Steven and kind of just let him return to the fight and disappear. Obsidian can also crush the stage with their fists, and you enact this move with a right jab with the right shoulder button, or a left jab with the left shoulder button. Which can be lightly angled by turning the control stick left or right as well as you're preparing to strike.
Okay. Is that like an either or? Like you do a punch or you do the fire breath? Or.
Right,
Okay.
right. It's either or, um, and kind of bada bing, bada boom.
All right.
Yep.
So for mine, this is not a cinematic. This is just gonna be like Aang doing
Okay.
the attack on the stage itself. So upon activating his final smash, Aang's eyes and his arrow tattoos will all begin to glow with a blinding white light as Aang works to bend all 4 elements at once. Because this final
Yeah.
smash is the Avatar state.
Yep.
So, with this, Aang will rise up into the air a short distance and create a large sphere of swirling winds centered on himself. It's the Ozai fight. That's what this is right here.
Mm-hmm.
At the
Mm-hmm.
same time, rings of the other 3 elements are going to start swirling around Aang with 2 diagonal rings of water and earth and rock starting Aang from opposite angles inside of the sphere of air, while a horizontal ring of fire will surround Aang from outside of the sphere of air. While this is all happening, while Aang is safe inside of this maelstrom of the elements, however, opponents who enter the sphere at all, well, they're not going to have a good day. They become trapped inside of it, similar how if during Rosalina's Final Smash, if you touch the Grand Star, you're trapped, you're now taking constant damage
Mm-hmm.
inside of it. All as Aang is bending all 4 of these elements to his will, just fucking you up. When the final smash is over, Aang will cause the sphere to implode, dealing one final hit to any opponents that are caught inside of it and send them flying away from him. The attack is considerably larger than a smart bomb, and if an opponent is in Aang's range from the very moment of the attack, then they can rack up to 70% damage in total.
Nice.
It is a very damaging
Nice.
move, but it's also relatively quick. So just don't be near Aang when he starts it, and you'll be
You'll
okay.
be fine.
But if you're there,
Yeah.
or if you get thrown into it, you're gonna regret it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great show.
Great
Just
show.
a great
Great show.
great core of the move set too. I mean, if he were in Smash, which would be bizarre, I wouldn't be so against it if that were the case. It would be bizarre, but it would be fun.
You
So
know what
very
else would be
very good.
bizarre? Watermelon people.
Yep. What if Aang were a watermelon?
I don't think he is.
He would be a cabbage actually. Um, all that said, extra skill for Steven. We're getting into the home stretch here already. Um, it is an ukulele, his ukulele.
Okay.
So he breaks out his trusty ukulele and sits in place. A quick action prompt appears above his head, allowing him to choose one of three songs. So similar to Shulk with the Minato arts. There's a blue star icon with an ukulele shaped in the middle of it at its center, and then a yellow star with an ukulele in it to the right, and a red one to its left. So blue, red, yellow, and you can toggle and choose, and then you'll play a little ditty depending on what you chose. The blue star represents the defense song, which grants Steven a buff in defense for a short period of time. This allows him to take more damage and knockback, whilst being roughly 1.5 times harder to knock around.
Okay.
The red star represents the strong song, granting Steven a buff and attack for a short period of time, allowing him to dish out 1.5 times more damage and knockback with his attacks. The yellow star represents the cure song, allowing Steven to dispel status effects that ail him. So these songs may only be used once every 15 seconds, preventing buff spamming, which is very important with moves like these. It's like, how would you care to go against God? Says Steven. It's Watermelon Steven, would you know. Whilst playing his quick jingle, it's also possible for opponents to stop him mid-song. You can attack him and break his ukulele, and he'll cry, which would make you very happy. Make you.
Especially if I'm playing as Dr. Mario, since with our revamped version of Dr. Mario we did a Smashtopia ago, he's all about them status effects.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Steven Universe would be a very good counter pick against Dr. Mario.
That's true. That is true. And so, cutting the song short, let's say that you hit him midway through and broke the ukulele. And of course, you can respawn in a few seconds. You could play it again. But a halfway played defense song will only permit Steven slightly more endurance than if he played a full song, like a 1.2 times more endurance, for instance.
Okay.
And this was taken from like games that he has appeared in, being kind of a game adjacent character. He's had a few out that aren't so bad, and that's a move from one of those. The rest of the moves are taken from the show.
All right.
Yep.
So for my extra skill,
yes,
I've already done all 4 elements. What else is there to do? That's why originally I had meditation / the avatar state in this slot. Because, like, okay, then I have the 4 elements and I have the avatar state. But I didn't like what I had for it. So I had to do some thinking about what to do here. I was thinking, okay, well, I could do, like, one of the subtypes, I guess. I could do something with metal bending, I guess, or lava or whatever. But I didn't really like the idea of doubling up. And it took some research, and then I remembered there is something else. There is a 5th type of bending, but it has no name techniques. It just has.
Oh,
it has been
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It doesn't have a name technique. We know the name for this type of bending. Well, it's sort of the creators pretty much gave it a name outside of the show, so we're just running with that. But what is actually being done? Well, I decided to just give it the name of bending that it has. Energy bending. We're back to the Ozai fight. So for this move,
the Lion Turtle returns.
Yes, this is a command grab. So if Aang is right next to an opponent, he can grab onto them. He's going to be gripping onto them by placing one hand on their chest and the other atop their head with like the thumb on their forehead kind of deal. and the rest of his hand is kind of like on top, more or less. And once they've been gripped in this way, there's going to be a flash of blue light that emanates out from Aang as the opponent gets hit with a relatively small amount of damage, but not like minusculely small, but
Mm-hmm.
small. And then they'll also be knocked down into a crumple state because they've essentially had their bending be sealed. Not that other characters in Smash bend, but it's the same kind of deal. Their internal energies have been fucked with, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
As he does this, Aang will be healed by the same amount of damage that he dealt with this attack to symbolize how Aang can bend his opponent's chi to either remove their bending, as he does with Ozai, or restore it, as he does with Korra.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. So it's not just water bending.
No, it's not water bending. Energy bending is classified as its own thing. But you're thinking of blood bending.
I know. I was messing around. Okay. I somehow didn't expect energy bending to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And I'm very pleased that it was. Just like I wasn't expecting energy bending to be a part of the last Airbender.
Nobody did. That came from the creators. It was like, well, Aang wouldn't punch the guy, so what do we do? Take his
I love that
bending
last.
away?
Just for getting
Well,
into heavy
how?
spoilers anyway. Yeah. I mean, I love that last fight with Ozai because all the other like hundreds or whatever fast avatars are like, just fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Just kill him. It's fine.
Like, Aang goes to ask the other avatars that came before him, it's like, how do I deal with this guy? Because I don't want to kill him. And Roku's just like, sometimes you gotta fucking kill him. Kyoshi's just like, bitch, I killed so much. Just kill the guy. He's like, okay, maybe I should ask another Airbender because we're supposed to be peaceful types. And he asks, I think her name was Yang Chen, I think?
Yep.
And he asks her, and she's just like, dude, kill him. It's like, but, kill him. Kill him. They're all just like, dude, get with it. The only reason you're having a problem with this is because you're a kid. Which, granted, you're a kid, but kill him. He's like, no, I'll do things my way. It's like, okay.
He meditated for probably like 40 years on top of the lion turtle.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Like, what, dude?
Uh-huh. That was great.
I mean, this. I don't remember if he asked Karuk or not, but it's also kind of like, why would you ask Karuk? Because he kind of failed at his job.
Yeah, he died. And
Worst modern avatar, Karuk.
Yeah. The funny thing is that after he dies, he kind of knows it.
So, yeah, no.
Yeah,
I mean, when he was done, he straight up told his friends, hey, I fucked up. Go help the next avatar, please, because don't let them be like me.
Uh-huh.
It was great. And that was Kyoshi.
Yeah. Very.
She was not like him.
Quite the opposite.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Lived for a long-ass time, too, after he only
because the writers fucked up. And they, because they made they said something like, they either said like her age, or they said like, they had like a time frame of events between like when Roku lived and then something that Kyoshi did, and then somebody's like, wait, how'd she live that long? And they're just like, oh, this is the danger of having an exact timeline. Like, I saw a post recently that said, like, anytime you're writing, if you can avoid using a number to define something, avoid the number, because fans will look at that. It's like, you're right. They pretty much came up with the excuse of, she learned how to slow the deterioration of her cells. It's like, that's fucking bullshit, but okay. At least there's an explanation, I guess. Okay, so we're a little on time, as we always get to with these things, but we've got a little bit more to cover. So, Jonno, do you have anything special in mind for Steven Universe's alternate costumes?
Actually, he has some other skills I'd like to cover very quickly.
Oh, right. Special abilities, unique traits.
Yep. Right.
I completely skipped over that because I don't have any.
Well, sorry, Aang.
I mean, he's got his mobility already figured out. Between air scooter, he doesn't need anything else.
Yeah. You know what he can do? He can hide a map to disappoint his friends because he knows where their father is. Other skills. I was like, really, man? I'm gonna slap your ass. So
yeah, that was not his best moment.
No. So other skills, Steven can levitate in midair. Very similar to how you would with the Tanuki leaf.
Mm-hmm.
So it's casually degrading over time. He also uses his shield that we mentioned at the start of this, his standard special. He can use his shield as a surrogate for the standard shield in Smash. So when you use the shield trigger, it's his shield, and he sits behind it.
Okay, what if he's attacked from
Um,
behind?
it's oh, sorry, I meant his bubble.
Okay.
The
Okay.
bubble, yeah, yeah. He holds you. So yeah, it's and then he can also crawl and swim, just not very happily. So with that said, yeah, alternate costumes. So Steven has another series called Steven Universe Future. There's a movie, and then there's Steven Universe Future, which is like him, 16 or 17 years old, having a few more years under his belt. He is a little taller, a little older. So the costumes go between like kid Steven, it's like 13, and teen Steven. Um, so the default is this kid costume, which you have on the screen here, and I have on my body with this T-shirt. Um, Simple enough. And then it's his default Steven, his default teen Steven is a secondary, where he's wearing kind of a Letterman jacket and jeans with a black shirt,
Hmm.
basically this, but black with a star, which is kind of similar to the shirt
Well,
Greco,
yeah.
where
I
he's
mean, there's no other
yeah,
way of showing that a character got older than wearing them have black.
yeah, there you
Gotta be
go.
the edgy teenager.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And then he's a bit tall, but not too much within the scope of smashing, a few inches. Um, then he has a one where he is in a star sweater, so it's a full length turtleneck sweater with a star in the middle. That's purple as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Then he has a teen. As a teen, he has a cyan star, which is his shirt from the movie, a cyan shirt with the star in the middle. Um, then as a kid, he has a these are all callbacks. So I'll just kind of throw them all out there and not go just whatever. So other costumes reference different parts of Steven Universe. Like there's Kid Steven has a Sadie and the Killer shirt, which is a band in the show. He also has a tuxedo and a top hat, which is from the episode Mr. Greg, which is notorious and great.
Mm-hmm.
He also has the Tiger Millionaire outfit from when he went on a underground wrestling stint. The Teen Steven also has an It's a Wash shirt, which is Greg's car wash, a dress shirt with a black overshirt, and a pink diamond dress. So yes, he is in a dress.
Okay. I mean, hey, we have Miss Cloud, not in Smash,
Yep.
but in Final Fantasy.
And since we've
Kind
gone
of a shame it's
into
not in Smash, so let's be
King,
honest.
yeah,
Miss Cloud would be hilarious in
like
Smash. Oh man.
since we've already gone into like all out spoilers for Avatar, I'll just go into all out spoilers for Steven. A big part of it is he finds out his mom is Pink Diamond, who is like
His mom was what?
notoriously known as Pink Diamond,
Uh huh.
notoriously known as a warlord. Woohoo! So he wears a dress. And there you go. That's that. How about Frank?
Well, for Aang, what I wanted to do was have each of his outfits kind of represent a different group of people, like how there's like Water Tribe, the different Earth Kingdoms, Republic City, Foggy Swamp. But when I was looking at it,
Yeah.
there really weren't enough options. I could have done like each different types of outfits for like high society bossing say, middle society bossing say, lower society bossing say, but none of them were really. They were all just like very samey in terms of the colors used. And then if I also factor in like Republic City and Fire Nation, like there's a lot of just the same colors. It's like, all right, well that's
Yeah.
unfortunate. So I decided to just pare it back. So you got default looking Aang, he's got his orange and yellow, but then he has an outfit based off of the Water Tribe, where it's just the same outfit, just recolors. So it's got more of a blue and white color scheme. Earth Kingdom, which has a green and brown color scheme. Fire Nation, red and black. And then the rest of his are kind of just based on other colors. So you'll have a white, purple, pink, black, orange, and brown. I really
Fair
wanted to
enough.
have Foggy Swamp and Republic City the most in there as well. But since I couldn't
Hmm.
have the rest of them, be interesting things. I just like keep it simple. The different tribes.
Yeah, foggy swamp.
Hey man,
Great guys
there
over
also
there.
would have been like the sandbenders, but again, like
Hmm.
all like each of the Earth themselves, it's like it's some different shade of brown or green. Like,
Hmm. Oh, Aang loved the Sandbenders.
okay. Last thing to do for these characters: home stages. I don't have a lot of detail for mine, but what do you got?
For mine, it's the same. It's the beach house. So we're out on the beach that you see in the victory pose, the beach that you see in the credit scene for Steven Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Where so it's kind of it's almost like rocket power ish, like the way that it looks with kind of the wooden stairs leading up into the home. So you're not fighting in the house itself. You're fighting in front of it on the beach and throughout. It's a day night cycle. It's Steven Universe has a lot of very pleasant colorings and aesthetics. Like it's a strong part of the show to showcase how much of a strong direction the art team has. So you get a lot of beautiful scenes, and so this kind of more exemplifies that. And you'll get character cameos up the Wazo up the Watto with this, and that's like in the sky, on the sea, whatever. But it's a very straightforward map. Otherwise, you have a little bit of sand on one side, a little bit of ocean on the other. You can kind of move between each. Nothing crazy, nothing that totally rewrites any books. It's just a nice looking stage.
All right. For mine, I've got the Southern Air Temple. It's well, there's four different air temples that are across the show for the air nomads, but the Southern Air Temple is Aang's home. It's where he was born. I don't think he did his training there, or at least not all of his training, but it's more or less Aang's home. And I decided that it just made the most sense. I could have done it with like it's a tour of the world. He flies on Appa's back, but I wanted to do the
Yeah.
actual air temples. Uh, I figure like the actual temple itself is gonna be like more in the background, and you're fighting on a variety of different floating platforms. I don't. Maybe some of them can kind of move around because air. But I more so wanted to be like a larger stage, not like Palatato's temple, but just like a larger stage. That way you have like some empty space that you can kind of play around with because again it's supposed to be like more of an air type place, so it shouldn't be like a whole just like bunch of stuff, but a few different platforms around just floating in the air, and then I really want like the center to be mostly vacant.
Just like air itself is a freeing vacant element.
Yeah, I mean pretty much.
You can maybe you would have lemurs flying around and whatever. Who knows?
In the background, but
Or no,
not yeah as part of the stage
yeah,
itself, not as part of the stage. And like you
yeah,
would be able
yeah,
to see like I
precisely,
don't know if it'd
precisely.
strictly be Appa that you would see in the background, but you would be able to see different air bison flying around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wasn't sure on your stance on them since during the Airbenders they were kind of hard to come across too. So that okay, cool, cool.
I mean,
Figured
I kind of
that'd be
envision
pretty.
like the way the stage is being built out in order to make it be a little bit more interesting and not depressing. The stage itself
Yeah,
comes from before the Hundred Years War, so
yeah,
before Aang went
yeah.
into the ice. So you'd be able to see kids playing around and the bison, the
Hmm.
lemurs.
You can see Monk Gyatso.
Quite possibly,
You
yes.
could see him in the present of Last Airbender too, but he would look a lot different.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I didn't want to have like the stage be like the present because then it's just like empty, it's dead, it's a little bit depressing. Aang's
Hmm.
about fun. Let's have his stage be from his childhood.
Right. Right. I agree. I mean, wow. Well, we kind of did it, didn't we?
We did. We did the thing. We gave two fourth party characters a chance to shine in Smash, which interestingly enough is actually not the first time we've done this. Before we had
No.
the podcast, we each made a fourth party character and put it on the Smashtopia Wiki because why the hell not? I created Vaxel Don, the half elf rogue from Critical Role, and you went with Popeye the Sailor Man. Like, all right, I mean, it's really no crazier than Vax, so
Figured
fuck it.
lineage to Nintendo, NES, and arcade. So
True, true. That's what the original Donkey Kong game was originally going to be,
Pluto
was a
was there.
Popeye game. So it actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah. There we go.
All right.
And also,
Yes.
I would like to make another quick announcement. When this episode goes live,
Okay.
there will also be a swath of other Steven Universe content, which I already have written and prepared, which will go up on the site as well. Not to spoil everything, but currently that is standing at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 assist trophies and another item.
Where the fuck's Marshall?
Oh, he's on his way.
He fucking better
I
be.
can hear him. I can hear him with the flockstep birds just over the corner.
Oh my god. Well, I have no further Avatar content coming to the wiki at this point. Maybe in time. I've wanted to do more stuff from Critical Role, actually. I just haven't never gotten to it. I want to do a character from the second campaign now that it's over. But as for
Nice.
what we have here on today's podcast, Aang's done. Steven Universe is done. We're done. Next time, it's our final Smash Dash episode of the season and our final episode of the season.
Oh,
But,
buddy.
just 2 weeks after it, season 3 will begin. So it's not like we're going anywhere. It's just a way to organize shit. So look forward to the Tournament of Champions as we take these 16 winners from this year's Smash Dash episodes. Actually, 17. Remember the League of Legends episode. And we're going to have a guest on helping us out. So, until then, see you all next time.
Look at you go. I just adore you.
Where did I go?
And I wish that I knew what makes you think I'm so special.
I don't, actually.